Bandwidth for this podcast is brought to you by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to MacBreak Work, and I'm here again with Rich Harrington from Red Pixel.
Yep.
Hey, Rich.
Hey, thanks.
And we are diving into Pages.
Yep.
And one of the things that we used to do in Microsoft Word that I haven't gotten my head completely around is mail merge. Is that something you can do in Pages?
Yeah, and it's been there actually since the last version, but people kept missing it, and so I wanted to bring it out now so people see it, because it's kind of tricky until you understand it, and it got better in 09.
Okay, well, let's see how it works.
Sure. Well, let's make our document ready first off. So, we got a form letter here, and, you see we got some fields here. And so, first thing we need to do is make sure that we have address book fields. Now, I've already done them, but what you'd basically do, let's blow this away here, and we'll just say, well, the first thing we want is it to be the person's first name.
Right.
So
it's important because it has to match whatever the field is coming out at, because there's stuff coming in, and if it doesn't see that, it's just not going to put it in there.
Right, but it's even easier now because we just say insert merge field name first name, and then we could say okay, and then after that we want space between the first name and the last name.
Right.
Insert merge field last name, and you see you got things like company, job title, work address, phone, email, their IM.
So it's all formatted. You don't have to figure out how to type it in. And is that new in 09? Or we don't know?
I'm hoping it is, because I didn't know about it until recently.
It's new for you.
It's new for me, and new for you.
It was new for me right now. So you don't have, and that's the way you want to do it, because that guarantees that it's going to stay within the legal set of the framework.
Yeah, and you can always go into the link inspector here and change it afterwards, or if you had your own text in here, you can highlight it. But like we have a name here, and it says, oh, that's the first name. And so
it's kind of automatically tying those in. So you could grab any word here and tie it to this is what I want to replace.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it works great. So so you want to get that set up so it knows which fields to merge.
Right.
Okay, so that's easy enough. And then you want to not just type the date, because maybe you want this letter to be generated automatically with today's date whenever you run it.
Right.
So what you would do then is you would insert some text here. So we could delete that real quick. And just, I'll put it in again. It's the same sort of thing. We just say insert date and time.
Right.
And if you click on that, what you do is just say, okay, I got that.
So you're right-clicking or just
a double click?
Double click, okay.
I would say, oh, well, what format do I want? Oh, that's enough.
Right.
And set to today and automatically update on open.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you write that letter, and then you let it sit for 2 weeks, and then you send it to someone, and it's supposed to sound new, and then you have the old date, and that'll never happen to you again.
Yeah, you could have that, thanks for the meeting letter, it was great to meet you, and it would just update automatically.
For your form letter on thanks, it was great to meet you.
And you could just keep inserting their name throughout the document.
So I really
liked having lunch with you, John. I hope everything's well. Looking forward to doing more work with insert company name here.
Just make sure, and that's why it's important to have the correct field, because what you don't want is to send something that's supposed to be very warm and cuddly, and then have it insert
Susan.
Yes, Susan. Yeah. Insert name here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So as long as you do those fields, it works great.
Right.
And then, one other thing I like to do, obviously, this is the company's address, but if you do have an address, you want to look it up, a lot of people don't know that you got all sorts of great writing tools in here. So we could just right-click on an address after we highlight the text and say, oh, writing tools, could you go ahead and look that up in Google? And it's going to go right to Google, and it'll show you the map. And you could say, oh, well, that's cool.
That's just sick.
Yeah. And remember, you even got things like Street View. And we could just go ahead, write to Street View, and say, "Oh yeah, that's my client's office. I've been there." so
that is like literally we were like a right click to
one click away from
house.
Google, one right click away from going to Google.
That is so frightening.
Yeah, and you also have other things in. Like if you use, let's say we use the word experience too many times in this document,
right.
I could just select experience and say, "Oh well, writing tools. Can you go ahead and look that up for me in the thesaurus?" And it would say, "Oh well, okay, thesaurus." Oh, yeah, understanding, knowledge. We have extensive knowledge. Let's try knowledge. I could just highlight that and say copy.
Now, you really want to be able to double-click that.
Yeah, I do. But it doesn't do that.
We're hoping that somebody at Apple is watching right now, because we really like to double.
Well, that's why you've got under the Help menu, you've got the ability to actually submit feedback. Or is it under the Pages menu? It's somewhere. Provide Pages feedback. Pages provide feedback.
So everyone who's watching right now,
submit that.
What you want to do is you want to go up and you want to provide Pages feedback.
It'd be really nice if when we went to the thesaurus.
We want to say, it'd be really nice if we went to the thesaurus and we double-clicked the word, it would automatically replace the word that was being checked in the thesaurus.
A couple hundred of you, it should be enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll just give you a
cookie.
A cookie.
And so then, once we got that, we can say, well, let's replace that word experience. What's important, though, is to say not paste, but paste and match style, so it keeps the formatting you had there.
Right.
So that'd be fine. Let's go ahead and do that merge, though.
Okay.
I always forget where it's at.
I don't know where it's at.
So you just go to the Help menu and type in merge. And it says, oh, there's mail merge. Great. And as soon as we mouse over it, it says, here it is.
It's got a little arrow.
And it even, after a while, starts to move, saying, hey, I'm over here.
It's kind of hard to miss. It's kind of taken over the whole thing here. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then it brings up a dialog box. And what's new in 09 is you could use a numbers document. So if you got a spreadsheet of all these contacts you want to send a new business development letter to, you can do that. Otherwise, you just say use address book. And I could say, take this group of open house people I want to invite to an open house. And it says, well, what are we going to do? And it gives you a chance to make sure all the fields are right.
So it's looking at what you've already connected here and making sure that it's tied in there correctly.
And what's nice is this option here, substitute closest match. So like if we didn't have somebody's work address, even though we said use their work address, it would say, well, I don't have a work address for this person. Use their home address.
Right.
And then instead of making 85 new documents, just send it right to your printer.
Wow.
And you click merge, and every letter will be custom addressed. It'll just fire them off to the printer. You can do it for envelopes, everything else.
And it's right out of your address book.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to do some kind of weird export or import or anything else. You just drag your little guys into address book. Very nice.
That easy.
Where can people get more of you?
Sure. I've got a graphics blog called Raster Vector, 2 types of computer graphics, and my company's Red Pixel, RHED, wordpixel.com.
Thanks, Rich.
Sure.
And thank you for watching MacBreak Work.